everyone, we are back again for another discussion about the current state of the hobby. Another big headline just came out yesterday. 430 million worth of online sales for cards. That is absolutely crazy. I remember seeing the last month before that, it was 350 million. The month before that was about 300 million. So it's going up exponentially month over month. Why, you ask?
A lot of new people coming into the hobby. A lot of big sales. Obviously, in this last month, there was the $12.9 million sale. I think there was a LeBron as well, right? 4.25. So those two big sales was just a small portion of that 430. But you've got these big names talking about big cards. So, and a big inflow of money coming from the crypto side and people in the stock market moving money into these alternative assets. So,
and this is just online sales. This is not taking into account any streaming platform sales, which is the whatnots of the world and all that as well, or any card show sales. We all know how much money gets moved at card shows there as well. So if we're actually doing a realized number, we're probably closer to that $1 billion mark right now, I want to say, for how much money is being transacted within the whole of the hobby, if you know what I mean, right? So, like I said, tying into our last discussion, there's a lot of FOMO right now as well. Big money is coming out because big cards are moving, and people want to get these big cards before they go up even more in price. It's amazing to see. Obviously, growth in any sort of industry is great, and rapid growth is great because it brings headlines. Like we're talking about, headlines is a big thing. Collectibles are being shown all over the world right now, not even just here in North America. Taken to Dubai, the UAE. They are now, I believe, having more shows every sort of month come up over and over and over again. And these shows are they're almost at the national size already within the first couple of years of shows. We have the Asia Sports Collectors Convention out in Macau. That is already, people are saying, bigger than the national. Bigger than the national in just a year or two of shows. It's kind of crazy. Just shows you the international growth of the hobby there as well. Which again is another factor in these crazy numbers we're seeing these days.
I see a lot of the shows, when I think of the beginning of the year in terms of shows, it's spring. That's when the shows all happen. A lot of the non-online sales are happening during those shows. When we were visiting all these other shows in spring and summer, I think we already started to see a lot of these big sales. But it didn't hit the headlines because obviously a lot of these sales are more internal, I guess, right? It's not online, so you don't see really a comp on it. But we hear about it at shows. We hear about these big sales. We hear about it on social media. So we saw that happening, and then now a lot of those sales are now turning into online sales and online headlines, and I think that's where you're seeing more people lean towards there once there is a couple comps.
All right, so I just saw a post on Instagram, just this morning actually, about a card show. The organizer of a card show kind of complaining, I would say, about people that are attending his show that aren't dealers doing deals at his show aside from booths, essentially. So that's just people that don't have vendor space when they're coming into shows. He didn't like that they're doing deals within each other and doing deals from like sort of attendee to attendee rather than doing from attendee to dealer, because he feels like when you are coming to shows that you should be buying from only from dealers. Again, if I'm sort of getting that correctly, he put a big note outside his card show that said if you're going to be doing that you would be banned from his show, basically forcing people to only do business with the vendors that are set up at that show. And it kind of, I would say, kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because just having went to the national, having went to the West Coast card show just a couple of weeks ago, some of the best deals I did at these shows were just with other attendees walking the show floor. Why is that? I've talked about it before. It's because a lot of the vendors do have inflated prices. It's simple as that. If someone that is a vendor has a card for $150 and it's only going for about $120, and if there's a person walking around the show floor that has that same card and they're vocal about it, I mean, are you gonna go buy the card from them, or are you gonna go buy it from the vendor? It makes sense to just buy it from the person straight up, if you know what I mean, right? And it takes away from the show if you're not allowing people to do trades and transactions within themselves and not the dealers there as well. Again, I didn't really understand what he was trying to say. I do get where he's coming from, but I don't agree with it at all. Rich, how do you feel about that?
I'll counter that a little bit. I feel like vendors are paying good money to set up, right? So in terms of if you're doing trades and stuff on the vendor table,
that I get.
That's a little bit of an issue. I can see that as, like, if someone's trying to sell me cards, say I'm a vendor, someone's trying to sell me cards, and someone else is interrupting that deal on the other side of the table, I'd be a little annoyed, to be honest, because I paid good money for the spot and space. Now it's different if these guys then, whatever doesn't sell, go off to the side and go over to the food court or outside the venue to make a deal. I'd be like, that's fine, because that's no different than kind of me meeting you on the side at Craigslist to do the deal. But I think it's just very dependent on how
the situation and what it actually
was.
I would say that as well.
Yeah, because if you really wanted to just buy and buy at volume, you should be setting up as a vendor, right? People are paying good money for that space. So.
But generally, I feel like you should be allowed to.
And that's why we have trade nights, right? To encourage people to buy, sell, and trade, and that creates liquidity on the show floor, and maybe they become a vendor down the road. So, yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Comment below. Would you allow, if you're a host of a card show, transactions and deals to be made outside from just the vendor's sort of table space, or is it would you only allow it to be vendor to attendee more so? Let us know what you guys let us know your thoughts in the comments below there.
Yeah, so I had a very generic question being asked to me at the store, and this is something that you probably get asked all the time as well. It's client brand new to the hobby. You spoke to this gentleman as well earlier, and he's like, what card do I buy that would give me the most appreciation? I think a lot of people just go straight to, this is the preference, this is what I would suggest, this is my experience, and this is the angle you should go. As a customer, it's going to be different from customer to customer, because their risk tolerance is different. What they like in terms of sports is going to be different. Why they even want to get into this is different. So I think a big difference between what we do and our store is really trying to get to know our people. Yep. Right? We don't want to just tell them, get into this because I'm getting into this. Again, a lot of the financial advice that we give here is our own personal financial advice. It doesn't mean you should go after it, right? So it's going to vary from the amount you want to get into. Your risk tolerance is no different than really you going into a bank and saying, which stock should I buy? It just doesn't work like that. They actually take their time as bankers to go through the risk analysis to see really what know your client, KYC is, to see what they should invest in. Because the last thing I want is a client to come back to me and said, you told me to buy this, but I'm not making any money. But when really the time horizon for me, it might be different for that client. That client might just have a time horizon of a month. They've got this stash of cash that they just got, and they want to make quick money and flip it the next month. Whereas for me, I'm in this hobby long term. So my time horizon is very different than maybe someone that's just dabbling into it. What are your thoughts on that?
No, and that's the first thing I did when he came up to me afterwards, after you had spoken to him. He asked me the same question. I said, well, I need to ask you some questions first to start. So I asked him, like you had mentioned, budget, who do you like, what players do you like, how long do you want to hold on to these sort of pieces for, And that's when I really sort of figured out what he wanted to do with his splash into the industry, more so I would say. And what he wanted was to simply just collect legends or GOATs that are going to be very stable for him over the next couple of years. So when he told me that, then I gave him a little bit more of a detailed sort of breakdown on who and which players I would invest into, and not even that, which sort of avenue of their collective sort of space that I'll go into, whether that be a rookie card, whether that be a patch auto or a patch or something like that. So once I did break that down to him, he sort of started formulating his own sort of opinion on how he really wanted to go about it. And I think you guys ended up in a deal, right?
We closed the deal for the McDavid, and you'll probably see in this video as well. And it was all around the same parameters as well.
Nice to meet you. Sanj's very first card, and we picked up a McDavid. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, every client that walks into Let's Collect Cards has their own customer profile in a sense, right? So it's going to be different from client to client. Some just love that dopamine effect of ripping and just hitting that big card. They'd rather spend their money on that and that potential. And then there's others that see it as a GIC in a sense, right? As a long-term hold. So that's what's different from our store compared to maybe some others, where all our partners here know the hobby well, but we also want to get to know the clients as well, and it's going to be different for every single client that comes in. Someone that loves to rip, I'm not going to tell them to buy a McDavid. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Even though I personally think maybe that's the way to go, I can't be telling them that, because they're in this hobby for a different reason, a different dopamine effect, really.
And everyone has their own sort of flavor on what they like. So we'll always try to do our best to give our best opinion on what to sort of go into and what not to go into. Every day is different. Every person is different. Every client is different. Every card is different.
Provide advice, really.
Yeah, literally guide them on their journeys.
There to guide them throughout this whole journey.
Collecting's
right?
always a journey.
We're also learning through this journey as well, but we want to be on this journey with all of you. So,
of course.
Yeah,
So
come
guys,
on with your questions.
Yeah, come up with questions. Come to our shop. Drop comments on our videos. Let us know, guys. We're always here to help you guys. We'll always say that. Our DMs are always open for you guys. Any kind of advice. If you ever just need to use Card Ladder one day, just honestly DM me. Arvin, I have Card Ladder. Can you come up with this card for me? It's simple as that. I do it for everyone. Might as well do it for you guys as well. So guys, that was another little state of the hobby conversation between myself and Cardboard Richard. Stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you guys then. Let go.
All right.